Hey everybody, thanks for attending this week's Vendasta webinar. It is October 24th, Thursday, and today we'll be talking about the new SaaS metrics dashboard in Partner Center. So with this dashboard, you'll see the 6 key metrics critical to monitoring and growing your business, and it's now available for you to switch over to. My name is Cam. I am Product Marketing Manager here at Vendasta for Marketplace Infrastructure, and I have 2 guests with me today.
My name is Carly Stack. I'm a data analyst within our Marketplace division.
Hi everyone, I'm Levi Johnson, Director of Product Management for Marketplace Infrastructure.
All right, perfect. So just as a reminder to everybody, if you have any questions at any point of the webinar, we'll get to them, we promise. Usually towards the end of the webinar, we'll answer some questions, and if we're not able to get to them today, I will personally follow up with you after the webinar. All right, so some of you have seen the new dashboard, some of you haven't, but Levi, can you tell us really why we're making this available to all our partners?
Yeah, thanks, Cam. So this really, our intent for this dashboard is to really be like a bird's eye view of your business through Vendasta. So as we've been collecting data for Vendasta over this last while, there's the key metrics that we look at internally for our company to drive our business. And it's basically the ones that you're seeing here right now for yourself. So we really wanted to make sure that we were kind of giving back to our partners the ability to see the same kind of view over their business through Vendasta that we have. So we're really excited to be sharing this with you.
All right, so let's jump right in. Okay, so if you see all the charts, we'll start with gross marketplace revenue. So what is it? It is the estimated gross revenue that you have brought in via the products in your marketplace. So how do you use it? This metric indicates comparative progress month over month. And you use this metric to track your growth in revenue as you introduce new products and services to your marketplace. So ultimately, this is really your main metric to see how well your business is doing.
Everything leads up to this, right, Cal?
Exactly.
And yeah, insight. So really, like we just said, all the other key metrics drive towards this main one. I'm sure a lot of you're making all the revenue that you want. You don't need any more revenue. That's great. Just ignore this graph. You're fine. For anybody who would like more, we have account managers or our support who are very helpful to figuring out how you can drive more revenue through us. So we're really excited to be sharing this with you.
And the way that we compute this metric is we look at all the products that you have active in a given month, and then what the retail price is of each of those products, and just sum those all up for you.
All right, so very important to note about the retail price.
Yeah, so how do we know what you're selling the product for? Well, if you, we do have a section that we're going to show you in a bit that shows you how to set this retail price, on average for each product. But if you don't have it set, it kind of defaults back to the vendor set MSRP. So if you don't override these prices, it's not going to be as accurate as it possibly could be. We do have a section that we will be showing you. It's under Marketplace, Manage Products, and under Product Settings. So for each of the products and services you sell, you can put the average price that you sell it for. So for now, it should, if you set these, it should be very close to the actual revenue that's coming through the platform. And in the fairly near future, as we allow you to stamp prices on every transaction, it will be 100%. So very direction. This is it's just going to be very close as long as you do set this setting.
Perfect. All right, the next chart we'll be talking about is the average revenue per paid account, or as we would like to call it, ARPA. So it's basically your estimated monthly revenue brought in per paying account. So how do you use it? Of course, ARPA is valuable for comparing groups or cohorts of account per month. And you use this metric to understand how much each account contributes on an average to your total revenue. So with this metric, you can actually spot trends in your account expansion or contraction. You can evaluate how your pricing plans are doing, what's effective, and over time, understand how your revenue is evolving.
So how do you drive this number? Well, one of the main things you can do is you can increase your client's basket size to help bring this up. It's really important to note that, there was a recent study done by GoDaddy that shows that on average, SMBs are spending hundreds of dollars per month on SaaS metrics, or on SaaS products. And really, there's a lot of room for many SMBs to be contributing upwards on this. So It's very specifically though, higher priced products like an SEO solution can really drive this metric up.
Perfect.
So this metric is an average. So we take that gross revenue that we showed you in the previous graph, and then we just divide that by the number of paying accounts that you have in the platform to give you a metric that's on average how much revenue you're making per paying account.
Jumping into the next metric, which is average basket size, this indicates the number of paid products active in accounts with at least one paid product. So what does that mean? So basically, every account with one paid product, this does not include, because one account can have free products. So this only counts the paid products, and that's what makes you an active account. So how do you use it? Basically, if you have a high basket size, this means that you have revenue expansion from your existing clients through add-ons, upsells, or cross-sells, or maybe even offering products in packages. So note that this metric, as I mentioned, only tracks active paid products. So what does this mean? An account with one paid product and 3 free products will have a basket size of just 1. And we usually recommend 4 paid products per account. We have a recent study on churn which shows that 1 product over a span of 2 years only has a 30% retention rate for the account. Now, if we increase this by just 1 product, so just a total of 2 paid products, this 30% retention rate increases by 20% versus 1 product. And ultimately, if you have 4 products, we see that the accounts that are with us with 4 products have an 80% retention rate.
So you're saying, Cam, if I'm hearing you right, is that the average basket size isn't just to drive revenue, for products that you're stacking.
For sure.
It's also to help with like the back end churn. The more products that they have,
Yes.
per account, the more likely they are to stay. Carly, why is this? Like, why do you think accounts that have multiple products stick around longer or less likely to churn than ones with just 1 or 2?
Well, I would say it has a lot to do with what you're offering that client. If you're just offering them 1 product or service, they can decide they no longer need that product and then leave you. So if you have more products that you're offering them, then there's a less of a chance that they're going to leave you because they have a lot of their company and their goals invested into you.
All right. Well, let's jump into how to drive your average basket size.
Yeah, so I think very specifically, selling complementary products in a package helps drive this basket size. But we have products in our marketplace like G Suite, like Website Pro, like GoDaddy that are especially good at this. And why is that? Well, kind of 2 reasons. One, a lot of these type of products like G Suite or Office 365 come in at a low price point. So it's not like a really tough sell. It's not like, $500 a month type deal. It's a very reasonable amount. So it's kind of an easy add-on. The other thing is a lot of these products like, G Suite or Office or GoDaddy have a fairly universal appeal. Many SMBs, I can't think of any SMB who doesn't need a website or business branded email or that sort of thing. So even while some of this class of products don't have a massive revenue associated with them, we also like to think of it as, churn reduction. And so using this to drive up your basket size can be a really smart tactic that you use.
Yeah, and I would also like to add that if you are currently selling your own and operated products in the Vendasta marketplace, we have a number of different products that you can choose from. Find something that complements your product and sell it as a package, and we know that this will help drive up your basket size and also your retention.
So to calculate this metric, we look at the number of paid products that you have. So by a paid product, we mean any product that has a set retail price. So this could be one of your own products that you've integrated through Vendor Center and set a retail price, or it could be a product that's offered through the marketplace where you've set a retail price. And then we just divide that by the number of paying accounts you have to get, on average, how many paid products do your accounts have.
Moving on to the next one, this is the active salespeople chart. So what is it? It is the rolling 30-day number of unique salesperson users who have interacted with Sales and Success Center, engaged with emails in the platform, or have performed sales activities, let's say like contacting a prospect, submitting an order, etc. So just to show you, each data point in the chart shows the total number of unique users, salesperson users, that have been active in the platform in the 30 days preceding each date across the date range that you select. So kind of a mouthful, but if let's say you look at July 15th, it basically shows you the range June 15 to July 15, how many unique salesperson users have interacted with the Sales and Success Center or have done any tracked activity.
So why, Cam, on say July 15th, are we not just showing the amount of active salespeople for that day? Like, why are we doing a rolling 30 rather than just on July 15th, you've had 10 active users?
Yeah, so it differs because, of course, there will be some days that salespersons are not doing any activity. Let's say their days off or the weekends, as well as, like the sales process also takes a little bit longer. So it usually you measure it throughout a couple of days or weeks rather than just a single day.
Yeah, I guess it really, if we did it just day by day, it really increases the variability of it. It's harder to see the trends of the pattern. So by rolling this out as like a rolling 30-day number, it kind of just helps you tell in general, am I winning, am I losing on this metric as well.
So how do you use this chart? You see how many of your salespeople are taking to expand your clientele and affect the other metrics on the dashboard. So basically your sales drive your revenue, your sales drive how many products are actually being activated, things like that. So for example, you have, let's say, 10 salespeople and you see that only 5 are engaged, then you have to do something about that, do something to bring them back into the platform and actually use it to bring in more clients and bring in more sales for you.
I think it's a good point too, that we're only tracking, of course, the things that are happening through our platform. So if you have a salesperson who is, he still could be engaged, he's picking up the phone or she's picking up the phone and calling clients and doing that. That's great, but if it's not through our platform, like through the Vanessa platform, then there's no way for us to track it. So very specifically, it's active salespeople through the platform.
And just make sure that with your salespeople, if they are making those phone calls, that they're actually going into Sales and Success Center and logging that action that they contacted one of their clients via phone call.
Great point. It's also probably important to note that not everybody here is going to have a team of salespeople, and that's fine. This number for some of you may hold a lot of value, and some of them, some people here, it'll be a number that'll be more valuable in the future as you grow and expand. So how do you, if you say maybe you have 50 salespeople on your team and you notice only 20 or 25 of them are logging in or doing something, how do you drive this number up? One of the things you can do is by specifically assigning more accounts to your salespeople. Doing this, they're going to receive email notifications, hot leads when the accounts do actions. So these notifications that the platform sends up really helps kind of revive engagement. So we're seeing a lot of positive results by doing things like that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So as Cam mentioned, this is a 30-day window that we're looking at for salesperson activity. So we look in the previous 30 days and see the unique number of salespeople that actually performed one of those activities. So if they logged into Sales and Success Center, if they opened a hot lead email, if they actually did an action within Sales and Success Center.
Moving on to the next chart is active accounts. So very similar to how active salespeople are being tracked, these are the number of accounts that are interacting with your email campaigns, your product offerings, or your business center. So again, it's also rolling 30 days. Each data point in the chart shows the total number of unique accounts that have been active in the platform in the 30 days preceding each date across each date range that you select. So similar to the past one, if I'm looking at July 15th, then it'll show me the total number of unique accounts that have interacted with the platform from June 15th until July 15th.
Perfect, yeah.
So how do you use it? So you dig into this metric to see which of your email campaigns is generating interest, which products your customers are interested in, and once you do see which unique accounts these are, you can kind of tell that they're ready to convert, and you can take the proper action to actually convert them into paid accounts.
Yeah, I think that's really important. I think hopefully some people here have heard about our upcoming product-led growth initiative. We're starting to roll that out as well too. And with that, we are coming out. We've got a suite of products that our partners can offer with a freemium model to your accounts. So one of the big things is as you're offering a free or low cost or low price products to accounts, you're looking really to see how active they are within the product, within the platform, within the email. The more activity you see, generally the easier it is for you to do an upsell or a conversion on these products. Also, if you notice that you're not seeing a lot of account activity, it's also kind of a future or a leading metric for potential churn in the future. So if you have accounts who may have paid products but they're not using them, or they're not logging into the business center, or if they're not opening up emails, it's something to kind of keep an eye on to see
to anticipate which accounts might likely churn, and you can catch them early on and maybe do a campaign or do some initiative in order for them to get them engaged and avoid churn.
Yeah. So, tell you, how do I really use this? I can take it, and of course, we've been showing these all at the very high level, but for each of these metrics, we do provide a path to dig in and learn more, and we'll be showing you this in the demo, upcoming demo. But you can use this to really see which products your customers are really interested in, and create maybe like a cross-sell or upsell path for them. You can analyze your emails that have high engagement and to see, which part of it, drives engagement. So the product, the subject, the call to action. So there's a lot of, concrete things you can do to really drive up this.
Yes, and I would always recommend to keep a list of best practices if you see that an email campaign has actually worked into bringing in more people to be more active in your platform, or they've purchased a product that you actually promoted to them. Just keep a list and try and see which parts of these campaigns or which part of the product your clients actually like, or what drove them into being active or buying your product.
Yeah.
And similar to the previous metric of active salespeople, we're again looking at a 30-day window. So again, we're not looking daily because this is another metric that could be very volatile. Depending on the product that you're offering the account, maybe it's just a reporting product, maybe like Listing Builder, where they only go in, say, once a week to see how their Google My Business actions are trending. So we'll look at the previous 30-day window and see the distinct number of accounts that actually performed an activity in that 30 days. So if they're opening your emails, going into your products, or visiting Business Center.
And finally, our last chart is the account retention rate. So this indicates how many accounts have actually retained their paid products. So of course, this is one of the most important indicators of customer satisfaction. And a retention rate of 100% indicates that all of your accounts have kept at least one paid product. Now note that this doesn't include new accounts. It only indicates the past accounts. So it is a retention metric and not necessarily an expansion metric. So if an account, let's say, cancels all their paid products, but they still have free products, the account is still considered churned. And Carly, can you expand more on not including the new accounts for this one?
Yeah, for sure. So the way that I'll kind of go into this a little bit later, but how this is calculated is that we look at the number of accounts that you entered the month with, and then the percentage of those that you actually kept and carried over to the next month. So if you add a new count in the middle of August, they won't actually be included in this retention rate metric until September.
Okay, so if let's say this month I have 10 accounts and I add 10 more accounts this month, I wouldn't be expecting to see a 200% account retention rate for next month. It'll still stay at 100%, provided I haven't lost any. But now I need to keep all 20 accounts, around for
the
that,
following month.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
So 100% is as high as you can go.
Yes.
That is 100%. So how do you work with this number? How do you, if maybe you're seeing that your account retention rate isn't 100%, or maybe you look for some tips on how to make sure that your accounts stick around and don't churn. Good news is we do have some recent research on a churn study, and we've identified some key actions that you can do to keep and retain your SMB clients. Some of which including, encouraging engagement, getting them to authenticate the Google My Business, sending proof of performance reports. But if you really dive into this churn study, you will get some really concrete things that you can do to help prevent an account from churning.
Yeah, so this presentation will be available after the webinar, and we'll make sure to include this link so you can check it out.
Yeah, so like I mentioned earlier, this is calculated by looking at your existing accounts in the month, and then the percentage of those that you actually kept and they had a paid recurring product for the next month.
All right. With that, I think we're going to do the live demo right now. So Levi will take us through the platform.
Perfect. Let's get right into it. We'll switch over to that, and then we'll. So for anyone who is curious about how, sure, one sec. Anyone's curious about how to get and try out the new dashboard right here in our old existing dashboard, you can try it out right here. Just by clicking on this link right here, we'll take you into the new dashboard. And you may even notice a Pendo notification kind of showing you and directing you up there on your account. So just clicking this here will take you in. Now I'm going to be very honest up front. Now that we've kind of turned this on for everyone, we're seeing a lot more activity than we'd expected. So some of these charts are taking a little longer to load than I would like. So I'm going to just go and show you right now. If I click on it, a couple of these charts take a second or two. So instead of clicking on everything live for you, what I'm going to do is I have a little bit of this preloaded for you. So I'm going to be switching around that way. So if you notice me switching tabs rather than clicking on things, it's just so that you're not waiting a few seconds each time before that. But we do have a development team looking at this right now. So let's get right into this. So this is a live dashboard. Again, this is for test data. So if you notice anything that looks kind of crazy, it's just because it's our test accounts. But for you, this will be live data for yourselves. So going to each one of these, you have the dashboards or the metrics that Cam has been telling you about. You can see them live up here. And it's also important to note that you can change the time frame. So if I go into here and let's say I want to see longer than 6 months, or if I want to see the last 30 days or custom date range, you can use this. And it applies not only to just these high level charts up here, but as you drill through, that stays with you. So if I narrowed this down to 3 months, everything will be showing for 3 months. Another important thing to note is that for each one of these, we do have help text up here. So if you forget, well, what is gross marketplace revenue again? How does that work? For each one of these, you're able to click into it and just kind of reread, refresh your memory on how they actually work. And they also, I believe, Cam, we've got a Resource Center article that also kind of takes you through this in depth. So yeah, let's start with gross marketplace revenue. Again, I promise that each one of these you can drill into. So if I clicked on this link down here, it's going to take me into estimated revenue right here. And what this does is it shows you, and it has things broken down month by month to show you not just what your revenue is for each month, but how much of that is new revenue, expansion revenue, churn revenue. And you can see that reflected down here. So just kind of a breakup of for every month, how the revenue looks like. You can also see by app, which apps are bringing you in the most revenue, and also by market. So if you are a partner who uses multiple markets, it has things broken down here. So it really kind of lets you dive in and see, like if my revenue is maybe for the last couple of months been decreasing, is it maybe because of churn, if accounts been leaving? Maybe it's because of contraction, accounts have been paying less, or conversely, if it's been going up, what are the reasons for this? So this kind of gives you a bit of a better picture into your business and into your revenue. Now, if we go to following this to ARPA, our average revenue per paying account, drilling into this shows me. Mostly this is the most valuable thing right here, this chart right here. And it's a scatter plot to show basically my ARPA, which are my top contributors to this ARPA. So on the x-axis, we can see the number of activations. So we can see, for example, this product right here, SEO Network, we've had 5 activations. So it's over on the right-hand side. And on the y-axis, we can see the amount of revenue that's being brought in. So I mean, best case scenario is you've got products in the upper right-hand quadrant where you're selling a lot of them, and they're selling for they're really contributing towards this. So this just is a bit of a different visualization so that you can see how this better works. Let's go back to here. So let's continue on average basket size. But before I do that, we are going to drill into all of these. I think it's very important for us to let you know that there is a feedback survey right here. So if you're finding this useful, great. If not, please let us know. And as you click on these, you'll be able to type in additional information. So we're really depending on this. Now, this is our first kind of version or first release of this. So things like allowing retention rate to be by product level or something like that in the future. As we're getting feedback, it's really important for us to hear it and then take action on it. So we're really kind of depending on you to type in your thoughts here if at all possible. So let's keep going though. Average basket size. So if you go into there and click through, you're going to notice something like this. So this is all of your products broken down by, all of your paid products broken down by the number of activations. So for this one right here, we've got Express Reputation at 166, and it goes down like that. Also, it shows you just the number of built products over time. So you can kind of track and see how your business is growing through average. So this is obviously, if you have a basket size like, if you're selling a lot of products like this, it really, it shows a really healthy contribution to your accounts. Keep going though. Active salespeople. So for active salespeople, we still have a team working on a better way of digging into the data and showing that. So if I click into it, we're going to notice something like this, and you may recognize this. This has always kind of been part of our platform, so we don't have anything new to show you for this, but we are looking for feedback on what you would like to see, for your salesperson activity. Second to last, we've got active accounts. So as you dig into active accounts right here, you're going to notice a few things. One is we break down your account activity by activity type. So are people, if you take a look right here, are they, like that, is the activity due to email being opened? Is the activity due to product logins, or is the activity due to Business Center or platform logins? So it kind of breaks things down to see not just is the account active, but how, or are your accounts active, but how are they active? We're also showing a breakdown by product as well too, so you can see which of your products have high activity and which of them don't. And for some of them, that may be fine, but potentially SEO Network in this case is a fully managed service, exactly. And yeah, and you're not expecting account to really be really engaged with it. You're doing it on their behalf, but
yeah, versus reputation where you kind of check it all the time for customer feedback, things like that. So the trend is really clients log into that app or product more than the others.
Absolutely.
And social marketing too, if you're scheduling posts or anything like that.
Yes, 100%. Also, through the emails, you can tell kind of over time, are your emails getting opened and looked at? So we've broken it down by customer acquisition, product upsell, and product adoption, and so you can kind of see how the different email classes are being the activity for those. Finally, for account retention rate. So in this case, it's telling a really good story. 99% have kept up on of course, this is our tester demo partner. But if you drill into this one, you can now also see it just by month how this works. So you can see month over month. This account this test partner looks like they've got a very stable set of accounts. Every month you can see the existing billable accounts carries forward. On the bottom there, you can see new ones that are tacked onto it. And if there's any churn, it looks like in this month there's just a little bit of a churn. You can see that on the bottom there. So it kind of just shows the breakdown of how this works. Also, by business category, it shows you what your top business categories are, your bottom business categories are. And so it's just another way of viewing or visualizing the breakdown for account retention.
All right, that's everything about.
That is the dashboard. Again, I do really encourage you to use this, for feedback as well too. We look at it every day to ensure that what we're delivering is the most valuable that we can. And we do have teams that have active items on their roadmap to take these SaaS metrics and extend them and add to them and provide more value. And so the more directly we can do this based on your feedback, the better it is for all of us.
So Levi, if I started selling a new product in the marketplace, how would I set that retail price of that product?
Thanks for asking, Carly. If I were to start selling a new product, or even all the products that I'm currently selling, I'm going to go into Marketplace right here, and I'm going to go into my managed products.
And again, as we've discussed earlier, this is a very important step to making your gross marketplace revenue as accurate as possible. So we highly recommend that you set the standard selling standard retail price for all of the products, especially if you're selling them above or below the vendor set price.
Absolutely. Now, for whatever reason, it looks like this is, there we go. We've got this, I think it's just because on this test account, we've got about 1,000 different products on here. But let's take, for example, we've got this right here. And looking at product settings. So for Market Goo, a great SEO product settings, you can see that I haven't set it as a partner. I haven't set this yet. So MSRP for this is $29. So if I haven't come set in, if anyone that I sell, the system just assumes that I'm selling it for a retail price of $29.
Yes, of $29. But Levi, what if I want to sell this product for, let's say, $39? How do we do that?
Yeah, so it's really easy. You just unlock this. We just did this so that it you wouldn't accidentally make any changes. Let's say it's for American dollars for $39, and I'm selling it monthly, yearly, one time. Lock it back up, and so now the system knows that I'm selling it for $39 or $40, and maybe half the time I'm selling it for $40, half the time I'm selling it for $30. I would put in 35 here. So yeah, this is how you set the retail price, and again, this is very important because it really does drive the revenue numbers on the on SaaS metrics.
All right, I think that's everything. Okay, let's just jump back right into the presentation here. Okay, now it's time for some questions. So we've got a couple here. Let's start with this retention rate. Will retention rate be available also on product level in the future? Now, as Levi has mentioned earlier, what did you say earlier, Levi?
Yeah, so 100%. So what I can't promise today is specifically which charts we're going to be adding to this. But feedback like this, that we obviously have some desire for retention rate on product level, really helps us with our roadmap, and that also helps that this is one that we've also already been thinking about. So it'd be great to be able to see. So which of my products are the ones that are being retained? Which are the ones that are churning high? I can tell you something like just from the stats that we see, we've got products like G Suite that generally have a very low retention. A low churn rate, but that's also engagement, or a high engagement too. So both retention and engagement we're really looking at for products.
All right. Another sort of question here, which is more like a suggestion for a future roadmap. So marketplace engagement to account statistics.
Yes, marketplace engagement to account statistics. Again, it's another one of those things that we're definitely taking an active look at. And all of these, by the way, we've got a system that we're putting all these in, and so we wait and kind of score this based on the feedback that we get. So
yeah, I guess right now it's kind of encapsulated in all of Business Center engagement, right?
Yes. Yeah. We have another question about selling products in packages. How can we get these MSRP numbers, often different depending on the package, to show in the estimated revenue charts? That is a great question. And we had actually a lengthy meeting last week about how we're going to tackle this, because we do understand that this is kind of how it works for many of our partners. So this is something that today you're just going to have to use just your average number as you go through this. But looking at Q1 for next year, we want to make sure that as you're selling things, depending on the package, that it's easy for you to to capture the exact number as we're going through this. Another question we've got here, is it possible to change the period in which I wish to see engagement of salespeople or customers, for example, last week instead of 30 days? I guess I'll kind of answer this two ways. Our charts, you can see like the overall trend duration. You can pick how long you see, like I can see it over 3 months or 6 months. But if you're talking about like how we want the bucket size to be, so it's like average, right now we're showing the rolling 30. We don't have a way right now to go, rolling 1 week or rolling, year. But that's, that's great feedback to hear as well too. I think that's something that we're going to take a real look at. And finally, maybe not finally, we still have some questions coming in. Calculating ARPA for annual subscription. So that's really, it's for any of our revenue numbers, how do we calculate them for annual subscription? Really smart question here. There's kind of two ways you could do it. If you do it kind of based on cash, then if you sold something for $1,200 at the start of the year, you record that $1,200 immediately, and then that would be that at one time. If you accrued it over the year, you'd be stamping down $100 over the 12 months. Now I'm gonna have to double check with my engineers on this. I believe we've got a cash-based thing, so we recognize it as you record it or as you sell. But we're gonna double check that for you, and Cam's gonna go back to you directly.
All right.
Okay, another question coming in. If a client has purchased product number 1 and then dropped it on the next month, but purchased products number 2 and number 3 on the same month, how is the retention calculated? So, okay, so what it would look like. So in this situation, if the client only had 1 product and they dropped it on the, okay, I'm just
I think it's all within.
Yes, if it's all within the next month. Okay, yes. So I enter the next month, I drop 1 product, but I add 2. That retention is still calculated as that they're still a paying partner. They have to drop all the way down to no paid products. It's only if an account. If an account has no more paid products, only at that point will they be recognized as churn, because this is really account level retention rate. It's a little bit different than product level retention rate. So the short answer to that question is they would be counted as retained and not churned.
All right. I think that's all of our questions for today. We're probably going to stay on the line for a few more minutes just to see if more questions pop in.
Yeah, give us 1 or 2 minutes. We're going to see if some questions pop in, and then we'll answer.
All right, so we have another question here. Just like the old dashboard, will there be a product overview?
I think what we're going to do for that question is I'd like to understand that one a little bit better. So the product overview, there's a kind of another way that we're presented this information elsewhere in the platform. So we're going to get Cam to reach out to you directly for that one.
All right. Okay, so just to let everybody know, we have available resources for SaaS metrics. I know there's a lot of information that we discussed today, but we do have a couple of resources available for you to check out if you're wanting to find out more, if you want to remember things. We do have a resource center article. We have a cheat sheet. It's a 2-pager cheat sheet that you can kind of, if you like printing things off, you can print it off, put it by your desk just so you don't forget about the metrics. And of course, a recording of this webinar with the presentation will be sent out as soon as it's available. And of course, Vendasta team is always here to help you. If you want to know more information about how to grow your revenue, how to grow your basket size, we can always strategize with you. Contact your Vendasta account manager, or you can call support at 1-844-955-6650.
Thanks a lot, Cam. And if we did not get a chance to get to your question, Cam will be reaching out directly to you. Love your feedback. So I've got a development team who are ready to make any changes needed, to add things to it, add more value to it. So the more feedback that we get from you, and I've mentioned this a few times, the better it helps us give you exactly what you need. So really hoping that you dig into these SaaS metrics, you enjoy them, but not just enjoy them, but you can use them to help drive your business through Vendasta. We're really excited to see how this goes. And please stay in touch with us.
All right, and we'd like to thank everybody who attended today and who asked questions. We are so happy that a lot of people are really interested in this SaaS metrics dashboard, and we're looking forward to helping you grow your business by providing you with these insights. So again, my name is Cam.
My name is Carly.
And I'm Levi. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you. Have a great day, everyone.